Hello one, hello all, it's your boy Scoopingo back at it again. You read the title, you already know what's going on. Avengers Endgame. By now you probably already seen my spoiler review I did with Chris. If you're new around here, this is like my third outing doing this type of video. I'm just going to read some of the worst reactions or reviews on this app called Letterboxd, because I usually do some funny things, or I usually read some funny things on this app. That being said, there are going to be some spoilers to this, so let's just dive into it, reading bad reviews of Avengers Endgame. Oh god. Eri says, have you ever seen something just so clearly written by a man? We're getting into some political stuff here again. I thought this was done after the Us review and the Captain Marvel review, but no, they're still here. Jesper Weiland says, the moment I realized Russo Bro was the gay representation we were promised, I became homophobic till the movie ended, but then again, I guess the same thing happened with the writers since they killed Steve Bucky and peed on its grave. Is this why I'm seeing a bunch of comments saying that this movie is, or that the Russo brothers are homophobic because they killed Steve and Bucky? Is this what everyone's mad about? I'm actually asking now because I've seen a bunch of people saying that the Russo brothers were homophobic, and then I respond by saying, wait, one of the Russo brothers was in a scene where he represented a gay character, and now I'm seeing that maybe they're just mad that they can't see Steve and Bucky on the same screen, and then maybe see them delve into a relationship. Y'all are crazy. Lucas Dillon says, unrealistic, Cord plays Fortnite in 2023. Who would do that? He forgot the question mark, but I agree. That is pretty unrealistic. You gotta give him that. Is that supposed to be Tanya or Tane? Someone please help me out. What this movie did to women like Black Widow was unforgivable. They refused to give her any respect. Black Widow, to me, had one of the greatest arcs in this movie. She had one of the biggest impacts on the movie and myself while watching it. She had... Alright, I just want to ask, how do you feel that Black Widow got no respect? Because she died? Because she's killed off? Did you see why she died? She sacrifices herself for the greater good, for the Avengers. She finds her purpose. And then she says, what this movie did to women. There's literally a scene with all the MCU women getting together and kicking ass. I'm just wondering, really wondering what you wanted. Jake G says, what a shit movie. No emotional response from me whatsoever. People who actually cried or cared about this movie honestly annoy me. That sounds like a personal issue, buddy. Marvel superhero movies are a disease. God, it's not nearly as good as movies like Suicide Squad or Batman v Superman. DC movies are so much better, except for Shazam. What garbage. Okay, wow, and what makes this better is that someone at the bottom says, I'm gonna shove a can of baked beans down your dick hole. Wow, what a great community this place is. He lost me when you said that people that care about this movie annoy me. Like, that honestly sounds like someone that's just mad at the world and mad at people for liking things. Come on, bro. Yahoo Serious says, you had 10 years and a million movies to do something special, instead you did the exact same thing again and again. That comment actually has 15 likes, so it's gaining a bit of traction. I guess people find it a bit popular. But I will never understand people's complaints about Marvel movies being the same thing again and again. Maybe you had a claim or a valid argument in phase one where a lot of the movies were set up, or origin stories rather. I will go to bat against this argument every single day of the week. Like, Captain America the Winter Soldier is a political drama, Ant-Man is a heist movie, the big movies like Endgame, Infinity War, those are the blockbuster epics. You do have some sort of claim to say that they are somewhat similar, but at the same time, if you're going to compare these two movies like Infinity War and Endgame, such different movies. Like Infinity War, there was something crazy, like a battle happening or a fight scene of some sort happening every 20 or so minutes. In Endgame, there's time for you to stay with these characters, time for you to learn from them and get to know them better before the later moments in the movie where they mean so much more because you spent so much time with them before. Different tones in each of these movies. So I don't know where anyone's saying that these movies are the same, because they're just not. And if you're saying that they are after watching these two movies back to back, you're just wrong. Got a little heated there. Had to let that one out. That one got to me. Top Shagger. They got rid of Black Widow. What the fuck am I supposed to wank to now? Her fat ass has been removed. You know, I started reading that comment and I thought it was going to be funny, but then it just turned into something horrible. I'm sorry for that. Casey Coleman gave this a half a star and says none of this happened in real life. And you know what? He's got a point. First IMDb, now Letterboxd. These fanboys ruin every cool film platform for me. This film is average, nothing more, nothing less. I need to find another platform now. You sound hurt. You sound mad, bro. You really gonna get mad at people for enjoying things? You are the worst. Well, okay, this one sounds like a threat. It says, Kevin Feige better sleep with one eye open. And, you know, if I were Kevin Feige, I would probably report that one. How are you gonna, y'all gotta chill. Shout out to Kay, who's getting a little creative, says, Bucky saying, I'm with you till the end of the line, pal. And Steve says, the line? What line? I'm only in circles because my life is a time loop, going back to the 40s for some coochie. Well, she's not wrong. Janitor Chari Haba says, worse than Age of Ultron, people should stop sucking this movie's dick. It's really unfunny, long, boring, and very flawed time travel story, but Caps holds the hammer, so 5th highest rated on IMDb. First of all, don't get mad at people rating things on IMDb. It's your fault for taking IMDb's word for, like, putting it on such a high standard or a pedestal, whatever, what have you. Just because it's the 5th highest rated on IMDb does not mean it's the 5th highest movie or greatest movie of all time. You have to understand that, right? Alright, now let me put on my scientist glasses, because this man's about to point out a very flawed time travel story. Time travel. I'm not about to sit here and explain to you the legitimacy or realisticness of time travel. Are we serious? Are we seriously complaining about time travel? I could sit here and point out the flaws of time travel in any movie. Terminator, Back to the Future, Hot Tub Time Machine. This movie acknowledges that it's using time travel and then puts all the concerns of time travel to rest. It explains on it and then just keeps on going. Like, there's no reason for anybody to sit here and pick apart time travel, because if you do, you're always going to find some flaws. And that's to say for any movie, not just Avengers Endgame. Satan's Vin says, after 8 appearances, it was finally revealed that Black Widow's superpower was to kill herself. I mean, I don't agree with it, but it's pretty funny. Handsome Jawa. This makes me hesitant to ever watch another MCU movie again. Why would I want to get invested in their characters if they're so willing to trample all of the developments in exchange for fan service-y moments? Avengers Endgame does have fan service moments, and like, that just needs to be said for me outright. I'm not going to sit here and deny that this movie doesn't have fan service moments, but it's something that's so warranted. We're talking about 11 years, 22 movies of build-up to this Infinity Saga. Like, you think of the first time Nick Fury showed up. That was the beginning of the Avengers. And then after the first Avengers came to fruition, at the very end, we see Thanos. And then from there to where we are now, it was just building to this movie. And this movie, the fact that this movie was able to weave in plot lines from Winter Soldier, from the first Avengers, from Ant-Man and the Wasp, like, you got to think of all these movies that they put into Endgame. All of these connected stories and callbacks. You got to understand that, yes, this movie is paying tribute to fans that stuck in for the long haul, or fans that watched all their movies. Of course, there's going to be fan service moments. They've earned that right to give back to the fans. The fans are the only reason that this franchise is even a thing. It would be a lot more insulting if this kind of stuff was in, like, the first Avengers, if a lot of fan service moments was stuffed into there. But even at the same time, when I say that, I don't think that the fan service moments in Avengers Endgame is, like, hampering the movie. I think that it's very cleverly done. I think that there are callbacks to even Ultron. All the callbacks all make sense, especially for someone who's been watching it for all 22 movies. Milo is disappointed that Cap and his double didn't fuck. 25 likes. Will Rich 14 is also disappointed. Ant-Man did not go up Thanos' ass. Thorough disappointment. It was the easiest and most logical way to end the conflict, right? Just to kill Thanos. But you gotta understand, they gotta get everyone back. Maybe he should have done it in the battle, like, you know, the battle of, like, the Avengers facility. Is that what they call it? I don't know. They just call it the final battle. I think I'm gonna end it on Mario Gonzalez, who says, well, it's not Citizen Kane. And you know what? I can't argue that. Avengers Endgame is one of the, like, I could not, for the life of me, bring myself to go in front of a camera and review Infinity War last year, because I just felt like it was just so much. It was just such a comic book movie. It was just a comic book brought to life, and I couldn't pick out the flaws because I just didn't want to. I just enjoyed the movie that much, and it's the same can be said for Avengers Endgame. There's not a lot of negatives that I could say for the movie, and a lot of the negatives that were brought up, I kind of delved into in our spoiler review. So, that being said, yeah, man, after 11 years, 22 movies, Avengers Endgame finally puts a big bow. And I can't even, stress that enough. This movie puts a big bow on the entire series. Like, everything was brought back into this one movie. It's insane. Avengers Endgame is a accomplishment. I'll say that. It is every fanboy's dream. But honestly, I'm going to stop nerding out. It's getting a little much now, isn't it? I am Scoopingo from the 5th row. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you are new to the channel, subscribe. If you have been here for a minute, I appreciate you. I'm Scoopingo from the 5th row, and I'm gone.